Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss the journal entries which are related to the banking transactions. How the banking transactions entries will be passed. Okay, see here what are the process of making the journal entries related to the banking transaction. First of all, there is a transaction which is cash deposited for opening an account or deposit in account. Whenever we will deposit cash into the bank, then what entry we will pass? Here the entry will be bank account debit to cash account. Just for example, you understand, if we talk about the bank, then bank is a personal account and cash is a real account. And the rule of personal account is that debit the receiver and credit the giver. If you will deposit cash into the bank, it means your bank will receive the money. So here the bank will be debit and cash is the real account. What is the rule of real account? If we talk about the rule of real account, it means debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Here you are depositing cash into the bank, it means your cash is going out. So here the cash balance will be credit. On the same way, if we withdraw cash from the bank, it means you will receive the cash from the bank. Same rule will be applied here. What will be the rule? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Bank is giving you the cash, so here bank will be the credit and cash will be the debit, because cash is the real account and the rule of real account is that debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So at the time of deposit of bank cash into the bank account debit to cash account, and at the time of withdrawal of cash from the bank, what entry we will make? Cash account debit to bank account. Now, if in case you withdraw cash from your bank account for the personal use, at that time what entry you will pass? As you know that for personal account, any amount which has been withdrawn from the business by the proprietor for their personal use, this account, this amount will be treated as drawing account. So here, if you will withdraw cash from the bank, then what account will be debit here? Drawing account will be debit here. Bank will be as it is, credit side. Drawing account will be debit here. Drawing account debit to bank account. Now come to the fourth transaction. Payment by check to a creditor. Suppose you do a payment to your creditor through check. In this situation, what entry you will pass? Because your creditor will collect money from your bank account, not your cash. So in case of bank also will be the giver here. If the bank will be giver, it means here also we will credit the bank, and the person who will withdraw the money from the bank, that person will be debit. Now payment by draft to a creditor. If you will pay any creditor by the bank draft, it means bank will also charge few amount. Suppose if you will go in higher education, then your university or colleges will demand DD, demand draft. They will demand your payment fees through the demand draft. And if you will go through the bank to prepare the DD, demand draft, then suppose you wanted to withdraw the DD of rupees 1000, then bank will demand from you 1050 rupees. Means one for making 1000 DD, bank having certain charge for these services. It means just like 50 rupees, maybe 100 rupees like this. So in case of demand draft or in case of TD, if you will pay your creditors through the demand draft, it means your bank charge also will be debited, because bank charge is expense here for you. So bank will deduct bank charge also from you, and as you know that all expenses and losses will be debit. If you pay through check, then there is no charge by the bank. But if you pay through the draft, it means at the time the bank will also take few charge, and this few charge will be expense for you, not for the bank. So here what entry we will pass? We will pass creditors account debit, bank charge account debit to bank account. Now, if payment of expense just like rent like this by check, if you are living in a house, or if your business is having rent and you are paying the rent through the check, at the time what entry you will pass? You will pass same entry, rent account debit to bank account. Charges paid to or charged by the bank. If you pay any amount, any charge, any type of charge, just like suppose you utilize SMS system, ATM like this, then after using these services, bank deduct from you few of the amount, monthly basis or yearly basis like this. If any of the charge you pay to the bank, it means these charges are expense for your business. So here what entry you will pass? You will have to pass that bank charge account debit, because this is expense, all expenses and losses are debit to bank account, because bank will receive this amount, so to bank account we will use here. Now the next entry will be check or draft received from debtors. These were the payment to the creditors. Now if you will receive any check from your debtors and deposit into the bank on the same day, this is very conceptual, that suppose you are receiving check and you are not depositing on the same day, then what entry we will pass? Then we will pass check in hand account debit to debtors account. And if you are receiving check from your debtors and you will deposit the check on the same day, at the time bank account debit to the check account, this entry will be passed here. So remember that if in question it is mentioned that uh, you have received check from any debtors and deposited same day into the bank, it means this entry will be passed. And if you have received check from the debtors and not deposited on the same day, at that time you will have to make the entry, that is check in hand account debit to debtors account. Now come to the next transaction. Above check or draft is deposited in the bank. It means suppose you have received a check but not deposited today. You will deposit it tomorrow. Then today you will make the entry check in hand account debit to debtors account. And tomorrow, if you will deposit this check or draft, at that time what entry you will make? Bank account debit, because bank will receive your check. So here bank account will be debit to check in hand account. And after the deposition, you will make this entry. Now come to the next transaction, that is a deposited check dishonored. Suppose you have a deposited check and your check has been dishonored, then what entry you will pass? At that time you will make the entry, just opposite entry you will pass here. Maybe due to any reasons your check has been dishonored, due to insufficient balance due to any other cause. So at that time, what entry you will pass? Just a reverse entry will be here. If you are depositing your check into the bank, at that time you will make the entry bank account debit to debtors account. Same opposite entry will be passed here. Debtors account debit to bank account. Now, if any interest is charged by the bank, if any interest amount is charged by the bank, this interest is an expense for your business. So as you know that debit all expenses and losses. So interest account debit to bank account, because bank will be credit here. Interest allowed by the bank. If any type of interest you will receive from the bank, it means here the bank is giver. So what entry you will pass? Interest will be income for your business. So bank account debit to interest received account. Next transaction, bank makes payment on firm's behalf of insurance premium. Suppose you are having insurance and you will have to pay the insurance premium. So um, through the you have shifted your premium, insurance premium in the bank, and bank after a certain period of time, bank is paying your insurance premium. At the time what entry you will pass? At the time the entry will be passed here, insurance expense account debit, because this is an expense for your business, and as we know that all expenses and losses will be debit, all incomes and gains will be credit. So insurance expense account debit to bank account, because bank is the giver here. Dues collected by bank on firm's behalf of, if any type of dues or dividend bank is collecting behalf of firm, then at the time what entry we will pass here? Bank account debit to dividend account, because bank is debit here, bank is a receiver here, so bank will be debit, and dividend is your income, so your income will be credit here. Now the repayment of bank loan in cash. If you have taken a loan from the bank, now you are re making the repayment of bank loan, then at the time what entry you will pass? Bank loan account debit to cash account, because bank will be receive your amount, so the bank loan account will be debit here. At the time of taking the loan from the bank, what entry you will pass? If we talk about the same opposite thing, then what entry you will pass? You will pass cash account debit to bank loan account, because here you will receive the cash, and at the time of payment of bank loan, here you are paying the cash, so bank loan account debit to cash account. Repayment of bank loan by issuing of check. If you are repayment your bank loan through the check, just what entry you will pass here? Bank loan account debit to bank account. Transferred fund from one bank account to the another bank account. Suppose you are having an account in SBI, and now you are transferring the amount in PNB bank. At the time what entry you will pass? Here the bank that will receive the amount will be debit, and the bank that will give the amount will be credit. So one bank account will be debit and one bank account will be credit. So these are the entries related to the banking transactions.